Hello class. The midterm exam is due on Sunday, April 3rd by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. The midterm exam will test your knowledge and mastery of the learning objectives and key terms and concepts in weeks 1 through 4. The midterm exam must be taken the first time it is launched or opened. It cannot be saved and resumed later. Do not open the midterm exam unless you have about 2 hours of uninterrupted time to complete the exam. The midterm exam has a total of 26 questions and is worth 100 points. It consists of 22 multiple choice and true-false questions and 4 essay questions. The midterm exam will be based on the required readings, supplemental readings, and lectures and presentations for weeks 1 through 4. The questions will be in the form of true-false, multiple choice, and essay. Select the most correct answer to each question unless a specific question instructs you to do otherwise. Unanswered questions are counted as incorrect answers. Your response to the essay questions should be a minimum of 250 words and be supported by at least one reference from the readings or outside sources. Here are the essay questions. I would suggest you research and respond to these questions over the next few days by typing your responses to these answers in a Microsoft Word document and saving those responses. When you go to complete the midterm exam, you can then cut and paste your responses into the box provided for your response. Now, let us review the questions. Essay question 1 asks, Recreation and Sports Equipment Corporation sells a product that is capable of seriously injuring consumers who misuse it in a foreseeable way. Explain whether the firm owe an ethical duty to take this product off the market. Describe conflicts that might arise if the firm stops selling this product. Here, you want to start by discussing ethical versus unethical behavior. Discuss how ethical behavior can sometimes generate sufficient good and will warrant practicing if one desires to see an increase in profits for the business. By the same token, you will want to discuss how unethical behavior can sometimes generate enough bad publicity to warrant avoiding and will have an impact on the business negatively. A business firm's activities that are perceived as ethical and receive wide publicity can benefit the firm's owners in the short run and even into the long run, and can enhance the firm's public image as it continues to attract more consumers to their products. There is nothing unethical about making a profit. It is the behavior that generates the profit that can be questionable. Business ethics thus has a practical element. A business firm should act in its best interest. A firm interested in profits should also be interested in the public's opinion. You will want to also include examples to demonstrate your understanding of this concept. For example, It is not a company's fault when a consumer misuses its product. If continuing to sell a product is not a strict violation of the law, stopping its sales would likely reduce profits. This could impact the firm's owners, employees, and others, but suspending sales could reduce injuries and could lead to increased profits from the sales of other products. If suspension stops the negative publicity, while a business entity decides to respond to what it sees as a moral or ethical obligation by removing a product from the market, an ethical conflict is raised between the firm and its employees and between the firm and its shareholders. This conflict arises directly out of the impact that the decision has on the firm's profits. If meeting this perceived obligation increases the firm's profitability, then all parties win, and the dilemma would be easily resolved in the favor of doing the right thing. Essay question 2. The question asks, Discount Mart Inc. files a suit in state court against Elements Computer Corporation, alleging that Elements breached a contract to sell 500 notebook computers to Discount. During the course of the suit, Discount files a motion for judgment on the pleadings. Element files a motion for a directed verdict, and both parties file motions for summary judgment. Discuss when and for what purpose each of these motions would be made. Here, you will want to discuss the motion for judgment on pleadings. State what it is and when it is used. You will also want to discuss the motion for a directed verdict. Again, what is it? When is it used? You will need to discuss the motion for summary judgment. Again, what is it and when it is used? Discuss these three motions separately. Then, you will want to compare the motion for summary judgment on pleadings, the motion for directed verdict, and the motion for summary judgment. Compare the three of them and outline the differences between these three motions. How does the court treat each of these motions? What does the court look for in each? And when will each be granted or not granted by a court? Finally, you need to apply the facts for Discount Mart and Elements Computer in analyzing whether the court will grant these particular motions. Essay question 3. After 2 years of research and investment of considerable funds, Coast to Coast Company develops a new product that it hopes will produce substantial profits. Coast to Coast Company learns that a competitor, National Sales Inc., has made and begun to sell a nearly identical product. Coast to Coast learns from a reliable source that National paid a Coast to Coast employee to obtain the plans for Coast's product while it was in development. Describe and analyze the legal recourse Coast to Coast would have against National. Here you would want to think about conversion and trespass to personal property. Why conversion? Explain why you would have chosen conversion, and you do this by first outlining the elements of conversion, and then taking the facts of your case here, the elements and coast-to-coast company facts, and analyzing each element of conversion against these facts, then come to a conclusion. You will do the same thing with trespass to personal property. What are the elements of trespass to personal property? And by elements, I say what is the legal definition of each of these terms. Then you take the facts of this case against each element one by one and analyze them, and then come to a conclusion. So you need to conduct some research here and do an analysis based on these two elements. The final question is essay question 4. An unknown individual launches a series of attacks against the websites of Prime Sales Corporation. The attacks significantly slow the sites, leading to 100 million in damage in terms of lost work time, lost revenue, site repair cost, and other expenses. The attacker does not intend to profit from the onslaught, and in fact does not realize any financial benefit from the effects. Explain how this attack was most likely orchestrated. Explain who is most likely to engage in this act, that is, whose habits and limitations are clearly suited to such conduct and why. Here you would want to talk about the perpetrator, and the question likely is that the perpetrator is doing this act through hacking, using one computer to break into the other. So you would want to explain what hacking is. The hacker, which is the perpetrator, may have appropriated a large number of computers without the owner's knowledge. Each computer might have become a bot, together constituting a botnet. So you would want to discuss what a botnet is, and this botnet through which the hacker could secretly install programs to forward transmissions to even more computers. The hacker might then have installed other malware. What is malware? Or other programs harmful to the computer. The hacker might have consisted of a worm. What is a worm as it relates to computer terms? Which could reproduce and transfer itself into other computers, or a virus which could reproduce itself but could not transfer without being attached to the infected file. So here you realize there's a difference between a worm and a virus. They both can be attached, but one can transfer on its own and one has to be manually transferred by the hacker. These programs might have been uploaded to websites based anywhere in the world. You want to do some research on this topic? Take a look at pages 185 and 186 of your textbook for more information on hacking and computer law, business law. This is the end of our midterm review. We reviewed the possible responses for the essay questions portion of the midterm exam, the true and false questions. I think you will do pretty well on those. Go ahead and review this. As you review this slide, go ahead and draft your responses to the essay questions. Good luck on your exam. Work on these questions over the next few days so that you would not become overwhelmed. Again, good luck.